Let's talk about something most men completely misunderstand: what women actually feel in a relationship. In the beginning, everything feels perfect. There's attention, effort, emotional connection. You make her feel special, valued, wanted. But then slowly, things start changing. The calls become less frequent, the effort starts dropping, the energy shifts, and this is exactly where the problem begins. Because for a woman, it's not just about how you start, it's about how consistent you stay. A lot of men don't realize this, but one of the biggest tests of love is what happens after intimacy. If right after that moment you turn away, get distant, or act irritated, it sends a very clear message that it was never emotional, it was just physical. But if you still stay close, talk, hug, show care, even for a few minutes, that creates emotional security. And emotional security is everything. Now here's another thing most men get wrong. They think women are impressed by expensive gifts. No, it's not about the price, it's about the thought. You can give her something small, her favorite chocolate, a simple flower, even a glass of water when she's tired, and it will mean more than something expensive with no emotion behind it. Because women don't fall in love with things, they fall in love with effort. Even small actions matter. Texting her to ask if she ate, remembering little details, opening the door for her, walking on the safer side of the road. These are not big things, but they create big feelings. Sometimes, even a little protectiveness, when it comes from care, not control, can feel like love, because it shows that you value her. Now let's talk about a major green flag. If a man openly accepts you in his life, in front of his friends, his circle, people who matter to him, that's a big sign of seriousness. If he proudly says, "She's mine," if he picks your call even when he's busy, if he makes time for you, that's effort. But here's where balance is important. A relationship is not about control, it's about connection. If you don't give each other space, if you constantly question, pressure, or overthink, it slowly kills the bond. In fact, one of the biggest reasons relationships fail is lack of space. People don't cheat just because they find someone else. Sometimes they cheat because they feel suffocated. So understand this clearly. Love is not just about being close. It's also about knowing when to give space. Now let's go deeper, because if you really want to understand women, you have to understand what they don't say. A lot of the time, a woman won't directly tell you what's wrong, not because she's complicated, but because she wants to feel understood without explaining everything. If her tone changes, if her energy shifts, if she becomes quiet, that's communication too. And when you ignore those small signals, small issues become big problems. Now here's something powerful. Women don't expect perfection. They expect effort. You don't have to always be right. You don't have to always say the perfect thing. But if she can see that you're trying, that's what matters. Because effort shows intention, and intention builds trust. And trust is everything. Trust is not built in big promises. It's built in small, repeated actions. Doing what you said you would do, being consistent with your behavior, staying honest, even when it's uncomfortable. Because once trust is broken, it's very hard to rebuild. Now, understand this clearly. Women remember how you make them feel more than what you say. You might forget your words, but she will remember the feeling. If you make her feel ignored, unimportant, disrespected, that feeling stays. And slowly, she starts pulling away, not suddenly, silently. Now let's talk about attention versus intention. Attention is easy, anyone can text, anyone can compliment. But intention is different. Intention is planning time with her, remembering what matters to her, making her feel important even when she's not around. That's rare, and that's what creates real connection. Now let's talk about energy. Your presence matters. If you're always distracted, always negative, always emotionally unavailable, it drains the relationship. But when you bring calmness, stability, and clarity, she feels safe, and safety is attractive. Now, emotional safety. A woman should feel like she can be herself around you, without fear, without pressure, without being judged. If she feels like she has to hide parts of herself, that's not love, that's stress. And stress pushes people away. Now let's talk about appreciation. If she puts effort, notice it. If she dresses up, acknowledge it. If she cares for you, value it. Because when effort is ignored, it slowly disappears. Now let's talk about ego. Ego destroys relationships quietly, not saying sorry, always trying to win arguments, never accepting mistakes. Sometimes being right is not important, saving the relationship is. Now here's a deep truth. Consistency creates comfort. Comfort creates attachment. If she knows you're stable, if she knows you won't suddenly change, that builds a strong emotional bond. Now let's talk about growth. A relationship should help you grow, not hold you back. If you're improving your mindset, your habits, your life, that energy reflects in your relationship. But if you become lazy, careless, or stagnant, attraction fades, because growth is attractive. Now another important point, effort should never be one-sided. You give, but you also observe. Is she also trying? Is she also respecting you? Is she also valuing you? Because a real relationship is mutual, not one person chasing and the other just receiving. Now let's talk about patience. Real connections take time. You can't rush emotional bonding. You can't force love. Everything real grows slowly. Now understand silence. Silence can mean comfort or distance. If you can sit quietly and still feel connected, that's love. But if silence feels heavy, that's a warning. Now let's talk about arguments. Anyone can say sorry, but real change is in behavior. If mistakes repeat, words lose meaning. Now here's the biggest truth. Love is not just a feeling, it's a choice. A daily decision to respect, to care, to stay consistent even when it's not easy. Because real love is not just excitement, it's stability, it's effort, it's presence. So if you truly want something real, don't just focus on attracting her, focus on understanding her, respecting her, keeping the connection alive, because in the end, small things aren't small, they are everything.